So yeah, YouTube was being kind of a pain in the ass, or so I thought. It was actually my phone. Forgot to put it in that hole. You can rotate it to, landscape. Word of advice for any of you who are going to be doing YouTube videos or recording any sort of video ever in your entire life, don't record up and down. Always record sideways. It makes such a big deal. What's up, guys? Happy Thanksgiving. For those of you who are not cooking food right now, including me, because I have a late Thanksgiving today, I am going to do a live stream. For those of you who like live streams, awesome. I hope you like more of them, because there's going to be some for a while I try to fix some hardware issues on my computer. So, editing video right now is not possible until I can get my workstation back up and running. Which sucks, because if I lost what I've been working on, I've spent the last 5 days working on the competitive 5v5 video, and if I lost it all, I'll be upset. So, instead, what I'm doing today, on this day of jealousy, why jealousy? Because today is the day that Drac and Project FDL are getting ready to go to Scotland for terminal infection with... Yeah. I wanted to go to that so bad. But, I just didn't have the money to go to Scotland right now. Like most people. But I wish them well. I hope I know they will represent the SCNC and the United States very well in what is arguably probably one of the coolest premises of an HVZ game, and that is HVZ in a mall. Literally, they're playing in a mall, guys. It's awesome. Anyway, hey everybody, thanks for joining. So, today, while I wait until I can finally start cooking, I've been wanting to cook all day, but we got the easy stuff. Sup, Will. Instead, I'm going to be building a Stryfe today. It is a commission Stryfe for a friend in the SCNC, and so we're going to build a Stryfe today. Like, all out. Great Stryfe. It's going to be fun. Now, it's funny, I got this little Containment Crew sticker on my hat that Thomas, or maybe Bobo, stuck on my hat at SCNC 36, and which is cool, but I've actually never bought anything from Containment Crew until this build. And so I bought basically everything from Containment Build. What's up, Devin? What's up, everybody? So we're going to be building a Containment Crew Stryfe. Yes, most of the stuff is already cooked. It really is. So, yeah. So what we're going to be running is the Containment Crew 42mm flywheel cage with the Cyclone wheels. I've already wired it up into a pair of Michel 2.0s. Let's see. We've got the Containment Crew expanded battery tray. Some switches, thumb screws, fairly normal stuff, and we're going to be putting a voltmeter in it. But it's a commission project, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing done. And you guys are going to get to watch. I was actually recording this to make it a non-live stream video, so I've already started the process, but because my computer's down right now, I said whatever, we're going to do it as a live stream. So, here we go, Containment Crew Stryfe build. Ham or turkey? Both. Both. I may not originally be from the United States, but this is a holiday I've been very happy to adapt to. Alright, so let's get this workstation all set up. Ta-da! I think we can give you guys a little bit better angle. So your garage underground, yes. Ha ha ha. Spoiled. Maybe a little bit. Alright, so here we go. One live stream, please. Turn on the soldering iron. So, I've went ahead and removed most of the unnecessary stuff from the Stryfe. I'm going to go ahead and do the shell work real fast. Make it ready to do everything else, because I really hate starting the process and then doing the shell work. As I did say a little bit earlier, I've gone ahead and already wired the motors into the cage. Now, a lot of different people who build these things have their own signature of how they wire them. If I'm not doing 132s or 180s, then these are Michel 2.0s, and this is how I wire 130 motors. So it'll sit like that, and they're wired, makes it a little bit easy. Have you eaten your expo marker? I have not. So yeah, Michel 2.0s, gonna be a pretty fun build. It's actually gonna be pretty close to what I'm using in my Stryfe right now, other than the fact that I have the Hooligan Fly-Ass wheels instead of the Containment Crew Cyclone wheels. And pull out all this junk. So, clipping the battery terminals can always be a little bit interesting. I don't know if you guys heard that. That was the battery terminal firing off like a little rocket. So, always be careful when doing that. I have not bought. Did you see the dart turkey? I did. I thought that was a pretty cool little dart turkey. But I haven't bought hooligan wheels in a while. The last time I bought a whole bunch before End War, and I've just been kind of using them since then. I just used my last pair in a blaster for Jacob, also in the SCNC. We built a Stryfe last Saturday, and I put my last set of Hooligan Fly-Ass wheels in a 42 millimeter OFP cage for him. So that thing is kind of a beast. So we are going to start clearing our room in the battery tray to fit a 2S LiPo. Now when I'm doing a Stryfe, whether that's 3S or 2S, I have some batteries that I typically like to use. And I mean, there's all sorts of different kinds of LiPos that people will buy to do these things with. And I've seen people use all sorts of different LiPos. Again, I have my favorite, which would be the Turnigy Graphene series, because we're talking like high output C discharge, which is great for using these aftermarket motors. You know, I've seen people buy LiPos that have like 20 and 30 C discharge, which that's not bad. I mean, there's uses for it, but if I'm going to be making like a serious Stryfe build, I want something with like a hell of a battery in it. Oh, look at all of you people. Detroit, yes. What are your thoughts on metal flywheels? Well, and sorry for the delayed reaction. I've got the phone spun backwards. I have seen metal flywheels. I have heard metal flywheels. Unfortunately, my biggest experience with Nerf flywheels was watching them tear themselves apart in a blaster. So I've never, like after that, I've just never really bought them. Also, with so many amazing plastic ones between like the Hooligans Delrin wheels and the Cyclone wheels from Containment Crew, I don't know, I have trouble justifying the cost of metal wheels when there's so many good, far cheaper options. I mean, even worker wheels are not nearly as expensive as they were, you know, a year ago or whatever. So, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe I'm just stuck in my ways. Blast Forge. Alright. Almost done with the standard stuff that I do to one of these. And time to get out the Dremel in a second. Yay, Dremels. And be honest, guys, there's like... Yeah, seriously, Georgia, it's where it's happening. I don't know, dude. I've thrifted so many blue Stryfes at this point that it's kind of ridiculous. So I've just got a bunch of these sitting around. A lot of people like to do this with a Dremel. I've seen it done with a Dremel. It's okay to do with a Dremel. But if you got a little bit of time, it's so much easier to do this part where I'm removing the plastic to fit my 15 amp micro switch. To do this with a pair of snips, it gives you much better control. And because the first time I did this on my personal Stryfe a year ago, I accidentally chopped right through one of my dart posts. Or, not my dart posts, my screw posts. Which, thankfully, the Stryfe has a bunch of extra screw posts down in the grip. Like, really, it's almost unnecessary how many there are. Still, not very good practice to go slicing through all of your drill posts. Alright. Most of that removed for fitting our same switch. When will TK use a Nemesis? Seriously? Maybe never. I don't know. Virginia has no nerf scene, and I don't know. I know a lot of nerfers in Virginia. TK is, I don't know. I mean, the FDL is kind of, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm not a Nemesis style player because I've watched Aaron of the SCNC wield one like a little scout rifle. So, I mean, truthfully, anybody can be a Nemesis player. It's just not the kind of loadout I really run. But this is someone just asked about it. This is the containment crew one. Yeah, so all this stuff is from containment crew today. Hooray! Alright, now we're going to start getting into some shell cutting. Shell cutting? What are we doing? I mean, I've got an Apollo, so, I mean, I've got a rival, and I want the Kronos, but, I don't know, maybe one day I'll do a Nemesis. Who knows? I mean, who knows? So, I'm using a 3-lead voltmeter. I really don't like building flywheel blasters without a voltmeter. You know, yeah. So, where I'm putting it on this one is going to be just, I guess, north of the battery door. So we're going to put that here. That's going to go like that. And this is going to fit right in there. I kind of like that. Makes it a little bit easier. Da, 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 da. Ha. Alright. So we're going to clear out all the crap in here and start making room for our voltmeter. You guys even see what I'm doing? I don't know. Who knows? Technically, I still have the parts for my FDL2 Plus. All the components that were swapped out to make it room for the FDL2X were returned to me. So I still have them. So if I ever wanted to make a 2X, I'd be able to save myself some time and some money, I suppose. I've got to get some stuff reprinted for my my FDL 2X because I had some stuff printed by another party, not actually from Project FDL, and unfortunately they did not have the updated file because FDL has made a really cool flared magwell, which is something a lot of people have been saying he should do for a long time, and he finally did. Oh. Do. Hey, it is Jacob. If you, let's see, who was it? Moonshade. If you watched my video on the FDL2X, I too was originally concerned with how complicated it was, and I was like, this is going to be slow. There's no way this is really going to be viable for a Nerf war, but there is a way to make it work, and make it work ridiculously well. So the FDL2X is certainly really nice. That being said, a lot of people do like the FDL2 Plus and don't want to move up. I mean, Project FDL's son, Aiden, still uses an FDL2 Plus, and he could have an FDL2X pretty much whenever he wanted. I mean, maybe not whenever he wanted, but, you know, within reason. But, yeah. There was just a guy, Will McLaughlin's up in Virginia, and there's another guy who was looking for a Nerf club. I mean, we'll see. Alright. Later, Michael. Alright. So, getting ready to put in this voltmeter. Oh, I hear my baby crying. Okay. So yeah, we're cutting away the area to, what setup is he going to use? So we're using it's a Michel 2.0 Cyclone wheels, 42 millimeter cage, running off a (2S) Turnigy graphene 1000 milliamp. What is this? A 65C discharge lipo. So it's going to be a really nice solid build, with plenty of room for upgrading should he want to do that. But for right now, it's a fairly good, like, higher mid-range blaster. You know, it's definitely not like all the way up there. We're not using a riot cage. We're not using fangs. But, you know, it's a really solid. Ick Michels. That's an interesting comment. Michels are amazing. Like, they are my go-to 130 motors right now. And I was like the biggest 130 Rhino fan. I mean, I love 130s. I mean, up until just recently, I was still using Rhinos, and you know, when the new Rhinos come out, I will be using those. But right now, in this period, if someone asked me to do a 130 build, I would more than likely recommend that they would do it with Michels. Just saying. This one is the 42 millimeter cage. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, but the upgrade that you get from Hyperions for the cost, in my opinion, really isn't worth it. I mean, again, I'm not saying I'm an expert here. I'm just talking about from my experience. One more. Alright, that should do it. I really should have brought a drink with me. Technically, this is a commission blaster for someone in the SCNC. He's paid for the materials, and I'm assembling it, and then we'll figure it all out from there. So, now we've made that look like Swiss cheese. Makes it nice and easy to cut. Doo-doo! With these handy-dandy snips. The advantage is you're less likely to deform the plastic. Hooray. Ta-da! A nice, beautiful, clean hole to put it in. Haha! That's a joke. This looks like garbage. But that's okay, because we haven't gotten to the most critical element yet. And that's going at it with one of these. Jeweler's files. Super awesome. Yeah, the Neo Rhinos are certainly high up on my list of things I'm looking forward to. I've actually got a Stryfe that is mostly done, that is waiting for those motors to come out. Our friend Walt Sharp here sent me a care package of some really nice 3D printed parts for my new Stryfe sidearm. And I am also working right now to modify my Stryfe holster to fit, because right now the Apex Stryfe holster does not fit Stryfes that have a motor cover. And if I'm going to be building a hell of a... I was thinking fangs, but now I don't know. Walt made me a really sick motor cover, and I really want to use it, so I might as well go with fangs. Alright. That's about as close as we're going to get. Doo-doo-doo. Jeweler's files. I bought a set from Home Depot for like 20 bucks. So, not bad. And it's a whole bunch of little ones, big ones, whatever. So now, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be filing for a minute. Because what we got to do is get this hole big enough to fit this. It won't be 4 hours. If you use the right amount of leverage, you can go through one of these pretty quick. See, filing is all really just about the proper application of leverage. It's not that bad. Correct. And the thing is, a Dremel, you are most likely going to cut too far. And then, yeah. Now, if you're painting, that's not the worst issue in the world, because you can putty it, sand it, and fix it. But I'm not painting this Stryfe, so I really need to make sure I get this just right with the minimal amount of extra scratching and body damage. There we go. See, starting to look a little bit more voltmeter shaped. And it didn't take 4 hours. Anything special for Thanksgiving? Yeah, I'm doing what a lot of people do. I'm gonna go hang out with my family, eat a lot of food, regret it. You know, I'm doing it a little bit late. My brother-in-law is a police officer, and he's on shift right now, so we're delaying Thanksgiving a little bit so we can all be there. Look at that. Just about there. The other thing is, it's really easy to make sure you don't go too far, you know, when you're doing it with a file. So all right. So prefer my meters externally visible so I can glance at them. My chair is behind me, but again, proper leverage is really key for filing, and sitting and doing that doesn't really work well for me. I also like my my voltmeters external, but I am going to be doing an internal one because Walt was also kind enough to print me one of those super cool foam blast internal ones. So all right, I think we're just about there. See, just about to poke through. Yeah. Take care, Pete. I do remember, Gavin, but I'm not going to give you the benefit of getting another laugh out of my expense. Alright. Said, it's kind of an annoying process, but there we go. Alright, so the hole is now wide enough for our voltmeter. So now I just got to make it a wee bit deeper, clean up the lines. So last weekend was an AUN war. A lot of people know about the SCNC, but AUN, invest in a 3D printer. Yeah. We have not opened the cars yet, James. We're waiting for the weekend when I have enough time to also give him a new play mat to play with all of his cars on. Also, he's been kind of a butthole today, so I'm not going to reward him with a box full of awesome cars when he's being a butthole. No way. I have no idea. So this one is, I'm kind of happy about this. This is for a guy in the SCNC who's been a Springer guy, who's been out, who hasn't really been to wars in a minute, but he borrowed my sidearm at SCNC 36 and liked it so much, he's like, dude, you have converted me. I understand why so many people like flywheels. And so then a week later, he was asking on the SCNC page about builds and started talking to him, and I was like, well, hey, since you like mine so much, I could build you basically an identical one. And he seemed on board with that idea. So now here we are. I've also got a Chris Vector fully done Stryfe that I'm doing soon with the Riot cage in there. So, aww, thanks, no love. Love you too, no love. Gross. So yeah, AUN was a lot of fun, but I'm doing another primary for my friend Ray, who I really should stop making blasters for, because I've made him like 3 Stryfes, a Raven, and he is just kind of, he's a handful with that Raven, I'm going to be honest. He was certainly making it difficult to run up with the Raven we built. So I really need to stop making him stuff. I say that jokingly. Him and his son Ryan are really close friends of mine. Ryan was the one I shouted out at the SCNC 36 live stream. And they are really cool dudes. They come out and hang out with my wife and I a lot. So, but yeah, I built a lot of blasters for that guy. And I get shot a lot by him. So, there's that. I mean, I get shot a lot by him. Alright. Almost there. Now I just gotta get this part. Oh, we've got to be getting close. Oh, very close. Very, very close. So now I got to get into this really tight little area. All right. Are we there? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Oh my God. We're like right there, guys. Seriously. I can't even tell you how close this is right now. Fine, fine, a little further. Alright, well, that's about as close as I want to get to the rails. I still want to be able to put accessories on this. Hey, we did it! There it is. Boom. Now, before we go gluing anything, let's make sure I put it in the right direction. You know, so we're not reading it upside down. Oh. Ta-da! Let's see. Moment of truth. Whatever. I got one of these sitting here. Who said flywheels are too much work? Chillzilla. Well, man, I guess, but some of the best things are the ones worth working for. So, let's see. Nice. So, it will fit just underneath that accessory mount. Hey, perfect. Okay, so now we actually do have to get the Dremel out. So, hooray. Because now I need to clear out a whole bunch of the stuff inside of there. Also, my Dremel box just took a nosedive, and Dremel bits went everywhere. Alright, let's try this again. Dremel rotary tool. Here we go. And put on the safety glasses. Alright, later, Walt, because my wife would kill me if I hurt myself the day of Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy. forgot a battery terminal. Whoops. That would have thrown a bunch of sparks. Alright. Got all the junk cleared out of there. TK, I can't say if I won't hit you with my Stryfe. You modded for me. Oh, yeah. No, you totally will. You're going to shoot me a lot with it. Hell, you shot me a lot with my own Stryfe, Jacob. So, I mean, I guess I can't say too much. At least I have the, you know, the pleasure of knowing that it was one I built for you, not just one, you know, of mine. I don't want to say it's embarrassing being shot by your own blaster, but, you know, certainly not the best. I'm just kidding. Alright, so. Bueno, it all's gonna fit. I think. Yep. Yay, everything's gonna fit. That's important. I didn't mean for that to sound quite so patronizing, but trust me, it's important. So, now we got the voltmeter ready to go, battery trays ready to go. This is pretty close. I can probably clean that up just a little bit. Remember I said don't use a rotary tool here? Well, I'm going to try anyway. No need to be sorry, Jacob. It's a Nerf war, not a Nerf tea party. But that being said, if anybody does make nice tea and wants to bring it to one of these cold December Nerf wars, I would not be opposed. Like, I'm legit considering bringing my little camping stove and making hot cider during the Nerf war. So, of course you're going to shoot me. It's a Nerf war, huh? Well, Gavin, to be honest, yes, I would say don't do that. But at the same time, I've done it enough where I feel comfortable doing that. So, yes. I mean, I guess it's one of those do as I say, not as I do things, but truthfully, really, I was just using it to sand this area down a little bit, make it a little bit more smooth. There we go. See, that is a lot nicer, a lot smoother. Nerf Tea Party. Let's do it. SCNC, Southeast Nerf Club Tea Party. I'm down. See, now our switch is going to fit nicely right in there. Hooray. Okay. So, that's basically all the shell work we're going to have to do. So, now we're going to take our little motor that we did earlier. The beauty of using 16 gauge wire, guys, is that then you can use a lot of the slots and grooves that already exist within the Stryfe to run your wiring through. Hooray! What's the number one thing you would like to see change between NWAR 2017 and 2018? That is a terrific question. Honestly, and I can answer that, would be better communication from the mod team to the players. Both in terms of rules and player boundaries and objectives. I mean, to be honest, if I had to say there was, and I kind of covered a lot of this in my post-End War live stream when I had the rest of TAC Squad in the party bus. But really, the lack of communication was a big problem. Like, we missed an entire round because of communication problems, and it could be a lot better. Why do you prefer CC wheels over more concave options like the Riot wheels that work much better at higher crush levels, 42.5 and less? That's a terrific question. I just wanted to buy the. I haven't tried these before. I've read a lot of great things. So I mean, I'm using the Hooligan concave ones on mine. I'm doing a Riot cage on this next Stryfe that I'm doing. But I've heard a lot of good things about these, and the containment crew guys were nice enough to come down to SENC for a war. So I was like, well, I'm gonna give this stuff a shot, I guess. So yeah, this is. This doesn't. Yeah, we had a party bus. Well, not a real party bus. It was like a 15-passenger van with all of Tac Squad, Sparkle Squad, the Flying Chicken. It was a lot of fun. So definitely beat just driving by ourselves. So we had this giant bus that we rolled in. It was a lot of fun. But this blaster is not needing to be a super top of the line. We had a specific budget for the project. We just wanted to make a solid Stryfe primary. This is his first flywheel blaster, so there's a lot of room for improvement if he wants to improve. He can do a motor swap and go to some bigger motors. He can put a different cage, different wheels, but overall this is going to be at least a good start. Jacob, yours is also... Hang on. Yeah, Jacob, yours is also a 42 millimeter. I'm about to put a 41.5 in mine. So, yes. I hope so as well that I enjoy these. I mean, again, I've seen a lot of good reviews. A lot of people whose opinions I trust have vouched for these. So, it'll be nice. I did at least test the cage and wheels on my Stryfe. Sounds like I said cage and wheels. Cage and wheels on my Stryfe before putting them in here, and I really liked them. So, we'll see how they do. But, in the meantime, not bad. Alright, run that through there. Run that through there. Hooray. Alright. Hi, Adam. Hey, Mike. And Dragonzoid, and all the people who just showed up. Hello, and welcome. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pre-tin our switch. Makes it a lot easier. Thankfully, these giant 15-amp switches provide an absolute ton of surface to put these on. So you don't even have to be particularly, like, a particularly good solder to do this. But still, I'm going to have to use that skill in a little bit because I'm also going to be using one of the stock Stryfe switches from the jam door to make a jam door activated voltmeter. And, yeah. Oh, I have my helping hands. I just don't need them for a switch. So, yeah. Alright, that's going to go right in there. At the next SCNC War, can I do a loadout video on you for my YouTube channel? If you want to, absolutely. Since I'm not running the next SCNC War, I'm gonna have plenty of time to do stuff. Hooray! I run the last two. And one thing I like about this slightly bigger heat shrink is that I can literally heat shrink over the entire terminal. So, really nice and clean. Cool, I dig that. Okay. 1/4 portion. I had another piece of black wire. What the heck did I do with that? That's that wire. Well, the beauty of buying all of your wire in bulk is that I've got tons of it, literally. Just got a whole spool. So, no need to worry. Where did I get? Oh, there it is. What? Yeah. Look, I was literally walking right past it. Guys, why did none of you say anything? Not one of you said, hey, TK, it's right behind you. Thanks. But so, you know, I've always considered myself more of a nerfer than a modder. I nerf very well. I like nerfing. But, you know, like, I'm not Drac or Bobo or Bob Greer or, you know, a lot of these big time modders who like make super terrific stuff. You know, I feel like I'm still long way to go. And so it still comes as a big surprise to me all the time when people want to commission work from me. I mean, I can make a decent blaster. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to like sell myself short here, but it's not like the same level that I see a lot of these other guys. At the same time, I don't charge nearly as much, I guess. Because usually I'm also drinking while I'm modding. Not that I encourage any of you to do that sort of behavior. But, like, it's just what I do. Because this is what I do to relax, anyway. Alright. Later, dude. So this is definitely my new favorite way to heat shrink these switches. Oh my god, this is like a million times better. This is definitely how I'm doing this from now on. Like, that looks fantastic. I am super happy with this. So, like, the heat shrinking, not focusing. What's up, Spam? You and I need to talk. I need to know where you got your patches. I'm pretty sure you commented, but I was already in a live stream. Because I've got a great patch guy, but he's great if I need 300 patches. But if I only want, like, you know, a dozen patches, I'm hoping that your guy does, you know, smaller orders. That'd be terrific. All right. See, I don't even know if it's the best. I doubt it is. I mean, I don't know. I think if I didn't have a YouTube channel, people really wouldn't care to get blasters done. But on the other hand, I'm pretty happy. Like, I made my Stryfe. My Stryfe hits, 148, 150. I'm pretty stoked about that. It's solid. I've used it for a lot of wars. So, alright. Now we wait for the hot glue to start getting hot. That was kind of a silly thing to say it like that, but you know what I mean. And while we wait for the hot glue, we're going to go ahead and start getting to work on our voltmeter stuff. Alright, so we're coming back to this black wire that we had been previously messing with. Alright. So remember I said we're going to have to do one of those teeny tiny little stock Stryfe switches? Well, here you go. Terrific. This is going to be fun, says nobody. These tiny little switches are such a pain in the butt, guys. Oh, did they really do that? Oh, those monsters. I mean, I guess it's a good practice, but... Oh, there goes the arm. Alright, well, that's going to be a little trickier. But fear not, nerfers. Not the end of the world. Alright. So, in that little claw, I've got my tiny little stock Stryfe switch. I'm going to go ahead and pre-tin it. 1, 2. You gotta be really careful, especially with those tiny little stock switches. You can burn them out. Jacob, yeah, we also need to get, Drac has all the patches, and you just really need to get to Drac and get said patches. Yeah, that's about the gist of it. He's got them all, and he travels a lot, so sometimes not always the easiest thing to get one, but, just, if you usually just go up to him and say, hey, Drac, I've been to a bunch of SCNC wars, give me a patch. Maybe a little bit nicer than that. There should be no reason you wouldn't get one. Stop being a pain in my butt. I've literally about worked myself right off my damn workbench. Let's scoot back a little bit, right? Alright. I will be using the FDL again. I just love it so much. Really do. You know, I really enjoyed getting to use my my blaster swap Stryfe that I got. I used it at SCNC 36 and I also used it at AUN and really enjoyed it both times. But, you know, thankfully the guy who built me that blaster swap Stryfe also has an FDL. Just signed into vid. What hardware are installing? Michel 2.0's 42mm containment crew cage, cyclone wheels, stuff. So, join that there. Cut off the extra wire. It's so easy to wire one of these things, guys, but seriously, once it starts getting down to voltmeters, it becomes tedious. Voltmeters are just tedious. So tedious. But so important, especially for people who aren't, you know, who don't carry a whole bunch of extra lipos to wars. Like, I bring a whole mess of lipos to a Nerf war. I really do. But, you know, not everybody does. Not everybody really needs to. So, that was a nice splice right there. Dang, I'm happy with that. All right. Put my heat shrink over it. All right. So that's pretty nice. Let's just realize you guys probably don't need to be quite that far away. Hooray! A little bit better, I suppose. So yeah, I just wired the first voltmeter lead in. Terrific. That can go back into here for now. I don't need you right now. If I can do it like this, I might be able to actually read this stuff too. I use 18650s myself. Have you thought about those? I run 14500s before. I don't understand why. I guess really is what it gets down to. Like there is no, unless you know you don't have access to a LiPo charger or something like that, there really isn't much of a reason in my mind to even have to use them. Alright, so I think our glue gun is probably ready to go. Got a good sized glue stick in it. Should be ready to put this switch in. Make sure we get it to just the right point. There, looks pretty good. All right. Now we sit here for 20 minutes while this cools. There we go. So, I guess while I sit here and hold this, I can answer some questions. It's a commission. Sleeper mod? No. Kind of. Oh. Right. You gonna snag the Deadpool Chronos? I'm gonna wait for just a non-Deadpool one. Right, so I'm gonna get 2 Chronoses because I want to do one for a cosplay blaster because I really like the shape. And then I don't know, I think it'd be a fun one to play with. So other than that, yes. Hello, Trico. Doing a commission Stryfe for a friend of mine in the SCNC. Well, I figured I was gonna be editing video today, but my computer ran into an issue last night, so I'm not going to be able to do some video editing for a minute. So I might as well do this. Hey, it's going to be fun. Alright. Good rule of thumb. Make sure you don't glue your switch lever down, because then it's kind of pointless. I need another glue stick stat. There we go. You know, I truly understand now why Drac uses that expanding foam when he does this. I get it. I get it now. So this should be nice and cool in about 80 years. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing a little bit of super glue on the already cooled portion, so that way it'll dry in a few seconds, and then I can go about my business while the rest of the hot glue cools. So I don't have to sit here the whole time. See? And there we go. Well, you can't see because there's a hot glue gun there. Ta-da! Relatively okay. Oh. Just checking. I always get like this monumental amount of paranoia when it comes down to super glue. So yeah. Literally everything. It's a full rewire, new motors, new flywheels, new switch. Oh yeah, I'm actually also going to be putting in a new... Yeah, there's most everything in this blaster is going to be replaced. Alright, so now that that part is drying, I can start... Take off my safety glasses. Start tucking in this wire, tucking it in here, going back around there, and it's going to go in here to connect to my LiPo in a little bit. Now, while that switch right here is waiting, we're going to come back to our little stock Stryfe switch. This one. Now, I don't need all the slack on this, so I'm going to go ahead and take a bunch of this off. Okay. So this is a 3-wire voltmeter. Now there's of course various different ways to wire a 3-wire voltmeter. This is one of them. So it's got this teeny tiny 22 gauge wire. Now, obviously, I wouldn't do a Stryfe with 22 gauge wire. But with a voltmeter, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be drawing so little, that's not going to be an issue. Wow, is that glare coming off that? Serious or what? Alright, so we'll come back to that. It's going great, Trico. Hey, I had to do a modification to my Stryfe to hold down the rev button with the rev button plate. Hold down the rev button. Did your switch come loose? Alright, well, in the meantime, so, like I said, there's several ways to do this. Since it's 3-lead, I'm going to do my red and white to the same switch. I'm just going to go ahead and twist the leads together, solder them together, and we're going to attach them to the switch together. For all intents and purposes, which is how that is said, this is just going to be one lead. Boom. Alright, that's now one lead. Later, Dragonzoid. Well, if you got it fixed, then awesome. Glad to see you can take care of that. And if we need to make any other fixes to it, you can also let me know, and we can take care of that too. So, now I get the fun part of having to solder a teeny tiny little switch to a teeny tiny little wire and not burning myself. So we're going to see, well, let me actually pre-prep some shrink, because literally if there's one thing I always forget to do, guys, it's to pre-prep my shrink. Alright, now let's try this again. Grab my switch, grab my soldering iron, terrific. Yeah, those tiny little things are... it's a tiny little switch, guys. Alright. Oh, that's going to be a pain in the butt, I see. Okay, that's cool. Eh. Cool. Shrunk wrapped. Shrink wrapped? Shrunk wrapped? IDK. It's on there. Now, we had a little piece of this red wire from earlier. Well, I suppose I could use this little piece of black wire. That could be cool. Will it reach? No, it won't reach. If I do that, that will reach. Okay. So I had this little piece of... This is why I don't throw away my wire bits until after I'm done. Because now I have this perfect sized little piece of wire right here. Now you can see it. That's going to be perfect for my needs. Okay. Pre-tin that. Come back over here. Pick up my switch. Grab my switch. Hey, so hold that. Okay. And we do the same thing again. Pretty. Cool. That goes up. I like to put shrink wrap on like everything, guys. And it's really not a bad habit to form if you're doing any sort of wiring, to learn to shrink wrap. Sweet. Later, Melbourne. All right. That's in. So that switch, a little tricky to get in there because a shrink wrap or a heat shrink is going to make it a little bit snug. Oh, almost had it. Cool. All right, there it goes. So now we've got that little switch back in here. Hooray. So now I'm going to take my Sharpie. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-identify my splice point there to there. Okay. Pull this lead out. Yeah. So now I'm wiring in the second lead from my voltmeter, which is the one that is going to connect to this power source. Alright. Should do it. Get off of there. Ta-da! That little bit of wire exposed. Where's my solder? Okay, gonna pre-tin it. Check. Tuck it back in. I like to tuck my wires as I go, guys, because it does, for me, make it a little bit easier just to keep identifying where everything is, where everything belongs, and so you don't accidentally yank out one of your own leads. Because if you're pulling on something and it's not properly secured, you run the risk of yanking a lead, which is, you know, a great way to get shorts and whatnot. All right. So I just had a second piece of heat shrink a moment ago. There it is. All right. Pre-put that on there. Might as well go ahead and pre-split this end. Okay. Now, excellent. But see, I really like making Stryfes for people in my own club. That's not to say, oh, that's because I think they're better, blah, blah, blah. Because I like getting shot with my own work. You know, it always makes me feel, like, kind of proud when somebody shoots me with a blaster that I've made for them. You know. So, like, I've been, yeah, I get shot a lot by blasters I make. But see, it's because I'm a nerfer. I like a good challenge. I like to have fun, and yeah, I'm using an FDL too. I like my FDL. Actually, I love my FDL, to be honest. But I also like a good challenge, and so giving more people better blasters is a fun way to go. Well, thank you, Soldier. I appreciate you taking one and being so generous as to be willing to shoot me. That's quite kind of you. All right. Okay, now we start getting to the fun bit. Well, I mean, it's all relatively fun, so I guess it's not entirely accurate. Get some of this ridiculously thick heat shrink. That stuff is like so ridiculous. All right, trim these up. Okay, let's pre-tin this connector, and we're about to add our XT60 connector, which will go to our LiPo, which again is a Turnigy graphene 1000 milliamp hour 65C discharge LiPo. And we're going to be using XT60 connectors. Hooray! Now this is going to be a little bit trickier than it normally is because I have made these leads very short, which was was not perhaps my greatest idea. Alright. Now we're going to do this XT60. Cool. I'm gonna focus on that, maybe? Who knows? Well, it doesn't want to focus. But that's okay. There's not gonna be much to see because this is gonna be one of those like really tricky, not very fun wirings right now. Because again, I made the mistake of making this lead so short that it's really going to be a problem getting both leads into this XT60. So I'm not particularly happy with that, but you know, it really is what it is. So, I guess, for better or for worse, here we go. We got this. I hope. Well, that was nice. That worked out really well. But that said, the first one's always easy. Now, the second one's going to be tricky. So, without further ado, here we go. Can't believe I was sitting here complaining so much. And I actually managed to get it right. And make it look easy the first time. To be quite honest with you guys, that like never happens. Usually getting this last part on is a pain in the butt because I like to make these leads really short because you only have a certain amount of space available inside your battery tray. And so best not waste it with unnecessary... Oh, like I was seriously just running my mouth. Later, dude. Just sitting here going, oh yeah, I got this, guys. And then it comes undone. Think I got it that time. And just to be sure, we're going to throw a little bit of extra solder in there. Just because I like knowing that that joker's not going to go anywhere. Because, of course, this lead will get tugged on more than any other lead in this blaster. Because it's the one connected to your battery. No one's going to tug on your motor's cables. That wouldn't make sense. Now, when I said earlier that, like, oh yeah, I don't consider myself a professional at this, I really don't, and that'll show because we're going to have what I call the moment of truth, which is anyone who's built a blaster in my workshop with me knows what it is, and that is, did TK remember to wire his his motors in the correct format? Yeah. I'd be lying to you guys if I told you I got it right every time. Oh. Without further ado, here we go. Something somewhere is not right. Well, the flywheels are working. Let's see if I wired them the right direction. If I wired these the right direction, it's going to shoot this dart out. If I wired them backwards, it's not. Well, that worked. Oh. So, hip hip hooray. The blaster functions. And I was just sitting there going, and then we have our voltmeter. Here we go. Cool. So, everything functions as it should. Now I'm just going to clean some stuff up in here a little bit because, again, I like a nice, orderly blaster. There we go. Alright, let's put this back in. Bingo! Alright, so, gonna quickly wrap this last bit up, and we'll be good to go. Alright, my lucky screwdriver, take this out. Check, check. Throw that thingy in there. Reinstall the trigger mechanism. Oh, might help that put it in the right direction. Okay, trigger. Pusher. Go ahead and lock my pusher down. Lock my trigger down. Attach my pusher return spring. Okay, think that's looking like about, oh right, you know, the other bits. Those are important. Gonna have to undo my flywheel cage just for a moment so I can push the barrel in. Now it is definitely important to remember you guys tighten your screws back on your flywheel cage. You want to make sure it's nice and snug in there so you don't get any extra rattle. But with your 3D printed cage, please remember not to tighten your screws too much or you risk cracking your cage, which is bad. Okay. That's going to go right in there. Jam door. And close it up. I'm going to quickly throw these screws in real fast, throw a battery in the tray, make sure it all works, and that will be all for today. That's because I just want to make sure this works. And then I got to go upstairs and start heating some stuff up. Or preheating my oven and doing all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna have to dust this blaster. It's been on my shelf for a minute. Yeah, guys, like this blaster is like stupidly dusty right now. I didn't even see that. Maybe that'll make it look more like a sleeper. Maybe someone's gonna be like, oh, that blaster's completely dusty. That's probably been up on someone's shelf for a minute. And it has. So, just to recap, this has got the Containment Crew 42 millimeter flywheel cage, Containment Crew Cyclone wheels. It is running off Michel 2.0s, and it will have a 1000 milliamp hour 65C discharge 2S LiPo, a Containment Crew mag release lever, a Containment Crew 3D printed expanded battery tray. So it's going to be a solid blaster. If he wants to make it like a super blaster, he has now got a very easy platform to work with, and it should be no problem to drop in some of the new Neo motors that'll be coming out and doing a little bit of shell cutting if he wants to put an expanded motor cover on it. You know, all in all, this will be a very easy blaster to add additional power to should he desire. But I don't just build blasters for what could you do with them, but I want to make sure it functions now. So this is already still going to be a fairly nice Stryfe. Yeah. Let me figure out why that's not going in all the way. Cool. Alright, let's throw the battery in here, and let's get out of here. Why did I wire that way? Oh, right. Duh. I remember now. I got this. What do I do with my lucky screwdriver, guys? Oh, I put it away. So that's a bit of a snug fit. That's the Containment Crew thumb screw with the Containment Crew expanded battery tray. I'm not super sure how much I like this, actually. I like the tray. Tray is fine. This thumb screw is a bit... I just know I'd much rather just have a regular screwdriver. So I'm just going to do that for right now. And if he wants to swap it out, I will still give it to him. How about that? Yeah. Cool. So, oh man, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna fiddle with this battery tray for a little bit longer, I guess. But my battery's running low, my charger's upstairs, and I'm getting hungry. So, thank you guys very much for joining me as I sit here in my shop and put together a Stryfe. And yeah, happy holidays for those of you in the United States who are celebrating Thanksgiving, and happy Thursday, November 23rd to the rest of you guys. So, this has been TK1138. Happy holidays. Have a good day. Bye.